So hi everyone, thanks for joining today. This is episode 2 and we have two very nice topics today. So the first topic I'm going to deliver is on Azure blockchain, and next session is from Argelo on SRS Power BI. So it's also a really interesting sessions. And we have also, as Pio mentioned, we have also two more episodes coming on Tuesday. So if you haven't signed up, so you can just go on the Meetup page and can sign up from here. Okay, so let's start. Are you able to see my slides?
Yeah, we can see your
Yeah,
slide.
we can see your slide. Okay, thanks. Thanks again. So my name is Asif Wakar. Actually, I'm a solution architect at ABN AMRO Bank. We are a part of ABN innovation team, so we are more likely working on different innovation projects in on ABN AMRO, and I was also a part of some blockchain projects, and and maybe we'll have a soon production ready blockchain app. So yeah. So today's agenda. So we will try to find out a few questions, which is actually most asked questions in my meetups. So I thought to try, means just to sum up and try to find out and relate with the actual use case of the blockchain. So we'll see, means is blockchain a Bitcoin, or why we need a blockchain, and is really blockchain suitable for my projects? And then we'll see some fundamentals. And in later demo, we'll see how we can build a blockchain prototype using Azure Workbench. Okay, so let's first start with have everyone, I think, heard about Bitcoin? So the first question is blockchain a Bitcoin? Blockchain is Bitcoin, uh, because this is the most widely asked questions in our meetups. Because as everyone know that there was a few years back there was a Bitcoin which was a quite boom, and everyone was trying to find out and buying the cryptocurrency. So whenever we talk about the blockchain, the cryptocurrency first comes in our mind. So uh, it's blockchain is a Bitcoin. Basically, Bitcoin was the first application built on blockchain technology. So it was the first production ready application which was built on blockchain. And there are a couple of numerous blockchain applications which is using on different like public blockchain in either Ethereum, Bitcoin, and couple of others use cases are there. So if you ask me in simple terms, then what is a blockchain? So I would say that blockchain is a decentralized database with strong consistency support. What it means is basically it's a decentralized database. It's a decentralized ledger, you can say, and all the parties maintains a copy of the ledger, and that's on the nodes, and it's also with strong consistency. So all the data is consistent on each node. So every node maintains a local copy of the data, and the system ensures that consistency among all the local copies at every node is identical. So the local copy is always updated on global information. So how exactly it happens is basically the local copies and the global information will be synced up with by using consensus mechanism. So each blockchain network have a different kind of consensus mechanism. So yeah, and then the question comes is where exactly means like some use case of the blockchain. Actually, blockchain is used in couple of various use case in terms of trade and finance, and means asset transfer in healthcare industry, and couple of them. So today I'm going to discuss a simple use case of blockchain of in property for buying a property. Theo, someone have to mute.
Asif, kindly unmute yourself. Thank you.
Oh,
Reminder everyone, keep yourself on mute.
okay. So let's take a simple example of like buying a property, and buying a property is where exactly we can, in this use case, basically suppose if you have to buy a property. So what are the parties will be involved in just purchasing a property, like a land registry, banks from where you are going to take the loan, or property inspector, insurer, buyer, seller, agents. So there are multiple parties involved in this, and each party need to be, means like for buying a property you have to be means like each parties need to build a trust, and they should, means you should know that this property is not a fake property, means like in our my case, like I belongs from India. So basically in India this is actually very good use case, because sometimes might be that one property is registered on 10 names. So how you will verify that this property is a legitimate property, and it's so you want to verify from where exactly it belongs to, and who bought this first. So these all things can be done on the blockchain network. So basically, if you have a multi-party auditing, or there cross-organization workflow like approval process, like ensure, suppose you are going to buy a purchase a property, and you want to do the insurance for the property, and there are some approval process, or there are some workflows, or who the bank is going to give you the loan, and he want to check from the insurer that the property is insured or not, and they want to check from the, means like from previous history that this property was properly transferred. So all this workflows and transfer, and you want to check the provenance, means from where exactly it was started. So this can be achieved in blockchain network quite it is very helpful to do in the blockchain network, because in blockchain is built on basically the four concepts. Shared data, means all the data will be shared between all the parties. So that's why each node will maintain a copy of the ledger of the data, and there will be means on trust, and there will be also for means basically for means in security, means in terms of, because all the transactions will be linked from the previous transactions, so all the data will be secured and legitimate, and you can also see the history of the data, okay, and the provenance, and also this will be there. So that's why if we have a multiple party or auditing and cross organizational workflow as an asset transfer, so in that kind of scenario blockchain can be a good use case. Then the question comes, is it this was the question asked, like, is blockchain suitable for my project, and how you will find out that is blockchain suitable for your use case. So I have taken this very simple means flow diagram. So if you answer questions of these diagrams correctly, means like I think then you will be able to, at the end of the means workflow, you can able to decide that you really need a blockchain for your project or not, because sometimes we have a very simple application, and blockchain cannot be a good use case for each of the project. So let's just take example. Suppose in the first we see that, do you want to store the state? So whatever the transactions you are performing on the blockchain network, like you are going for the approval process, or you are going for rejection, whatever the states are there, and do you want to store the states? If yes, and are there multiple writers? Multiple writers means multiple parties, and they want to perform the transactions read-write operations. So if yes, so are there third parties involved in that, and they are trusted third parties. Third parties basically can be like you are going to take the loan from bank, but you have also an insurer, or you have some other third external parties which is involved in your transactions. So that can be a trusted third party or not, or all those properties are known, all those writers are known. So if all are trusted party, means like suppose your own organizations, you know everyone, then you don't need a blockchain. If you don't know, then it might be then you need a blockchain. So it will come here like all the writers are known. If no, if all the writers are not known, then it's a permission blockchain. Going forward, I will explain you what is a permission in public blockchain. And if all the writers are yes, known, yes, so these all writers are trusted or not. If it is trusted, then you don't need a blockchain, because you can just build a simple distributed app because you know everyone and you can perform the transactions. So if all the writers are not trusted, in that scenario, if you have a public verification or public verifiability required, then you need a public blockchain. If you don't, then you need a private blockchain. So let's see what is a public blockchain and private blockchain. Public blockchain, just to give you example, like a Bitcoin and Ethereum. In that public blockchain, everyone can participate. It means like you want to participate and perform the transaction on the blockchain network, you can join the network. You need to buy a Bitcoin or whatever the coins for that blockchain network, and you can participate in the network. You can perform the transaction by paying the fee in terms of cryptocurrency. That's called gas fees. So it can be an example of like your health records, royalty points. That can be a public blockchain. So Ethereum is also a public blockchain network. Next comes is a private blockchain. Private blockchain is basically for a business unit. Basically, ownership and responsibility lies with a single company. Suppose you want to implement a blockchain network within your company for your some document verification process or asset management or governance of subsidiary. So these can be a good use case for the private blockchain network. Consortium is basically distributed. Different companies comes, like there are 10 to 15 companies came and they formed a network. So that's called consortium. So in that scenario, means like a distributed app, but on blockchain network. So that can be like supply chain license or tourism, hotel rents. So in that might be third parties involved also. So that can be a consortium. So in that scenario, there are three types of blockchain basically. So you need to decide first, is blockchain is really need for your project, and then what type of blockchain you are going to choose. Either you are going to choose for a public blockchain or private blockchain, or you are going to join some consortium. So before starting any project, these things you need to decide. Otherwise, it will be depleted. Yeah. These are the basics. So I will explain. Yeah, going forward, what exactly. So there are three types of most popular blockchain frameworks available as of now. One is Ethereum, and second is the Hyperledger Fabric, and then third is the Corda. So Ethereum is basically for public blockchain, like same as Bitcoin, and it is a very widely used framework, which works on a consensus mechanism, proof of work. So what is consensus mechanism? As I told earlier, in to maintain the consistency of the data, and so to sync from the global data to your local copy of the data, there is a mining process. So mining will be based on, means like and whenever you perform the transaction on the network, so there will be mining, and who is going to, means which transaction is going to perform first. So that will be decided by the consensus mechanism, and it ensures that you also maintain, it also maintains a similar consistent data on local copy and the global copy. So in Hyperledger Fabric, there is a different consensus mechanism, and for same as for Corda as well. So Ethereum is a permissionless, which is public blockchain network, and Hyperledger Fabric and Corda is a permission private blockchain network. Mostly used in means financial organizations and government bodies for to perform internal transactions. So we came to know that is really project, means like blockchain is suitable for our project, and what type of blockchain and what are the frameworks available. Now the thing is, you want to build a blockchain prototype. So what are the challenges you have currently in current scenario? Because before starting any project, we need to know what are the challenges we have. Suppose you want to connect to your business tools, your existing applications. And that's one of the biggest challenge, actually, I think, because no organization will be agree. Like suppose you want to make an application, but that application is not able to integrate with your existing applications, or so no one will try to invest in that. So that's it. That's why it's a very big challenge for the enterprise scale. Like you want to integrate with your existing apps like SAP's or CRM or SharePoint or SQL. You want to integrate those applications with blockchain application, and you want to read the data from either from web application, mobile application, or IoT applications, how you want to gather, communicate with other applications, and how you want to ensure the security of the transactions, whatever you are doing, and the people who are performing the transactions on by different multiple parties, and they are legitimate parties, and how you are going to keep the audit trail of all the history of the transactions, how you are going to make the provenance of the data, means like from where it is started. So these are the quite means well-known enterprise challenges we have when we are going for any blockchain project. So let's see how it can be. These are the means like issue trade-offs we have, like API management. Or so whenever we are going to start any blockchain app, so we always think means like, because the infrastructure management is a very big headache for us. Basically, whenever you are going to start any app, blockchain app, you just want to test end-to-end functionality. Means like your is blockchain will be suitable for your project, and it will be working out. Means it will be able to integrate with your applications. And just to test that functionality, you need to deploy a very complex infrastructure, and you should have means these all like API management, orchestration of signing, hashing, routing, deploying the ledger, writing the business logic, couple of things you need to do, and which is a quite complex process. So how we can solve this problem basically? So what exactly Microsoft is, because I'll be discussing more on the today's Microsoft Azure blockchain. So in that, how Microsoft is trying to solve this kind of problem. What exactly, actually Microsoft is doing a really good job in this scenario. What exactly is doing? They are trying to remove those pain points, which is suppose you have web apps, you have mobile apps, you have desktop apps, or you have any client apps, and you have, but you will be able to integrate with any one of the blockchain network or platform, like by using some predefined templates, which is on Ethereum, Corda, or Hyperledger. You can provision a complete blockchain network by using those templates, or by using Azure Blockchain as a service, and you can integrate with your existing apps. So they are trying to provide a complete ecosystem from end to end, means like from creating blockchain prototype to go for live to production. So in demo, I will show you how exactly you can build those prototypes, and then how you can migrate your applications to production. So what exactly they are trying to manage is they are trying to manage all the identity and key management, which is they have Azure Key Vault service, and they also do means the off-chain key storage. You can also, whatever the transactions you are performing on the blockchain network, you can also store the data on off-chain key storage like SQL or NoSQL database, and they're also providing means monitoring services, so you can monitor your transactions, or you can monitor your nodes health check, your nodes are performing well or not. And they have also API management capability, so means like you can integrate you can perform the blockchain transactions by using those APIs. So currently they are providing a few services to achieve this process. They have Azure Blockchain as a service, and there is a second is Azure Blockchain Data Manager, and Azure Blockchain Tokens and Development Kit. So what exactly they do is Azure Blockchain Service is a fully managed service. You don't need to do anything. You can just, in few simple clicks, you can deploy a complete blockchain network. And Data Manager is basically to capture all the data, means like whatever the events or transactions are performing on the blockchain network. So blockchain data manager captures all the data, and it can process into either off-chain storage, or you want to do some other activities like even perform some email notifications or any kind of activity you can perform on that. So basically, Azure Blockchain Tokens is basically a service for tokenize your assets. So it can be fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens. It's a quite different topic. I will maybe I'll explain in upcoming sessions. And there is also Azure Blockchain Development Kit. So Blockchain Development Kit is basically used for do the development of a blockchain app. So it's very useful because you can deploy a blockchain app.
Asif?
Yeah, hi.
There seems to be some noise coming from your mic. Can you see if it's plugged in correctly?
Okay, just a minute. I will. Am I audible? Thank you.
There you go. Yeah, I think it's a bit quieter now.
Okay, thanks. Sorry for inconvenience. Yeah. So let's see.
Asif, still some disturbance, man. So you check your mic for something.
Is it okay now?
Still a bit fuzzy.
Yeah, still a bit fuzzy. Yeah.
Okay, let me restart.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. Asif will just try and restart his. There was some noise coming in from the mic, so it's just troubleshooting right now.
So guys, what you're interested in besides blockchain, about SQL Server, a basic of SQL Server, what other things you are interested in? We will check the Asif mic. What is interested? You can put in your chat box so that we can get more details about what you're interested in, and we make some kind of a demo and presentation based on what you're looking for.
Are you able to listen, Aro, now?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So, okay, let's see how we can build a blockchain prototype using Azure Workbench. So basically what you need to do is so for creating a blockchain prototype, what we need to do, we need to go into the Azure portal, and there is a create resources. So what we can do, we can choose blockchain, and there is the Azure Workbench and Azure Blockchain Service. So basically Azure Workbench is used for creating a blockchain prototype, and also it also helps to do the integration with your existing apps. So what exactly you need to do is you need to go into the resource group. You need to choose, like suppose I'm choosing test 2, and you need to fill all these informations. So basically, West Europe and text region. So this is the password and database blockchain password. So you should remember this password because database blockchain password will be used for your off-chain storage. So whenever we are performing any transaction on the blockchain network and we want to see that transaction data on SQL or NoSQL database, so this we can, I will show that how we can see all the transactions on by using SQL Server. So next we need to choose the advanced settings. So in advanced settings we have two options, like you want to choose a new network or you want to use the existing network. So existing network, like suppose you have already some blockchain app which is deployed on Ethereum protocol. So you can just provide a Ethereum EBC endpoint here and you will be able to join that network. But suppose you are going to create a new consortium or new network, so you can just choose the option for create new, and this will be basically helpful for creating a new infrastructure network. And there are two tiers. One is for basic and standard. Basic is basically used for your development and test environment, and then we have standard also. So standard is mostly used for production ready applications. So you can choose the VM size as per your need. So I will choose for dev and test purpose like the one CPU network. Okay, I have already, because this will take 20 to 30 minutes. So I have already deployed a Azure Workbench. So what you need to do is there is a couple of step process for creating a blockchain prototype. So what you need to do is like this is the step for setting up your Ethereum network, which I'm doing now until here. And after that, what we need to do, we need to deploy this workbench. So once you click on the create, it will start deploying the workbench. And the third process is registering the Azure AD tenant, which is quite tricky part for registering the AD tenant. So what I will do, I will show you this process, and then we'll see how we can deploy a blockchain app on that blockchain network, and we'll see that how we can see the transaction data on the Azure Power BI. So let me show you quickly. I have already created the resource. After doing the create, you will able to see this in the resource group. You will be able to see all these resources. And if you see here in the resources, we have a app service, which is our Azure Workbench. So I can just open here Azure Workbench, and the second one we have is API. So API is basically used for this is basically used for integration with your existing apps. Suppose you want to perform any transactions on blockchain network, so you can use this API. You can leverage this API to perform the transaction on the blockchain network. But it will be depend on your access or networks on the Active Directory part. So, and there is also for some resources like blockchain as a service, and there is also a resource for Key Vault. Key Vault is basically used for your saving all your credentials or secrets. And there is also resources for the SQL database, which is also very important. SQL Server database, if whatever the transactions we are performing on this blockchain network, we can see on the SQL Server database. So let's see how we can configure the AD first, because our next step is configuring the AD registering first, and then we will deploy the application. So I have already written a blog on this. So if you are confused in any one of the steps, and later on the sessions, I will also upload the demo video, so you can follow that in configuration. So what exactly I need to do is I need to go into the Active Directory, and I have already configured the Active Directory few steps. So let me just. So first, what you need to do, you need to launch the PowerShell. When you launch the Azure Cloud Shell, so what exactly it'll ask you if you have a storage. If you don't have any storage, so it'll ask you to create the storage account. So if you can see here, my Azure already Cloud Shell is launched. So what I need to do is, in my blog, if you see here, I have already created this blockchain Azure Workbench, and after that we have the resources, all resources created. Okay, and then we'll navigate to the URL, so which is this URL. And after that, once we launch this Azure Cloud Shell, we need to copy this. We need to copy this URL and paste here. So let me just paste here. It will ask your Active Directory. So my Active Directory was this one. My Active Directory URL is I'll copy here. Then it will ask you to authenticate your device. So basically the device is and there will be a code for this. So I have this code. I need to copy this code. Why we need AD is registering AD account base, because I want to register this blockchain workbench to Active Directory, the app. So now it will, now you can come here and see. So this is the steps. It is once we have already, let me. If you can see here, this is creating the application, and once it is created, and assign the role. So then we can go and apply for this. Then we can assign the role and permissions for our profile. So in my blog, if you can see here, it will ask for the permissions requested, and then we can go, and after successful deployment, we will be able to refresh the browser. So you will be able to see the blockchain application means you can upload from here. So let's just wait for a few minutes. I will show you. So basically is what it do is this is a blockchain workbench where exactly you can create multiple prototypes, and you can just come here and upload your ABI files, means blockchain build files. And after uploading your solution smart contracts and ABI files, you can test the smart contract end to end. So this is means you don't need to create a complete means blockchain infrastructure UI. In few clicks, you can just provision a workbench. You can upload blockchain. Like suppose I have already created a one project like Hello Blockchain, and after building the blockchain project, I will have build files, which is my hello blockchain.json, which is my ABI file, and it's my smart contracts. I just need to upload these two files to perform a test. So you don't need to create any UI for this, and UI will be managed from here. So yeah, okay. So let me just refresh. So it will ask for your permissions. So I just need to accept the permission. And you can see here I have this new option. So what I need to do, it will ask you to upload your contract. So I can do is I can just go in my sessions. I have a couple of already samples available. These all samples are already available in Azure samples, Azure Workbench samples. So you can just go and copy from there to test. Let me just test for Bazaar listing. So you just need to upload your JSON file, then it will ask your smart contract, and you can upload your smart contracts. It will take a few seconds to deploy. So you can see here my contract is already deployed. So I have Bazaar, and there are some workflows for item listing and for Bazaar. And if you in the right hand side, you can see here also there are members. So these members will be basically, because I am the admin for this. So that's why only one member is showing here. But suppose if I want to use more members, so what I need to do, I need to first register my complete AD account. So what I exactly am going to do is I'm going to complete my registration process for AD. So what I need to do is I need to go into the Active Directory, and there is a registration. So I need to register this app. So this is my AD, and this is the app registration. So in app registration, I have already registered one app. So what you need to do, you need to click on the new registration, and then you can click on blockchain API 2. Okay. And you need to provide a URL. So let me give you just blockchain. So you can register this app. After registration, means you need to provide you need to change a mainfest file. Basically, this is the app roles, so you need to replace this app role. And there are two more settings, like you have to allow implicit flow. So you need to make it true. So these settings I have already mentioned here. So you can just copy paste from here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this. After moving this all changes, so what we need to do, we need to save this app roles mainfest file, and then we can register our app. So after registering this app, what we need to do is then we will be able to add the blockchain AD members in my group. For me, currently, I have deployed one app. Let me show you, because I think I have not much time, so I will show you quickly. So this is, let me just open demo. So this is the blockchain app I have already deployed here. So if you can see here, there was a asset transfer app, and I have this after saving this mainfest file, and you just need to save, and then you will be able to add the members here. So what you need to do is you can, let's suppose I'm going for bazaar listing app, same. So just go for bazaar listing, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the members. So let's take demo 2, demo 1, and we can assign the role like bazaar maintainer or is whatever the roles. So these are the roles which will be defined from your blockchain network itself. Means whenever you are deploying the contract, so you will be able to define the roles in that based on your contract settings. Party. So after registering this app, we can perform the transfer. Suppose I'm going to perform the transaction on the asset transfer. So what I'm going to do is I want to sell the bike, and the bike cost is suppose $1,000. So if you can see $10,000, so it's, you can see that the contract is being created. So this blockchain workbench is very helpful in terms of testing your contract, in terms of verifying your functionality, that how your contract is going to be created, how your contract is going to executed, and who is going to approve the transactions. So in my demo, basically I have if you can see asset transfer, I am the seller, and there is a demo 1 which will be a buyer. I have assigned already the role. So if you can see here, I have demo 1 which is a buyer role, and demo 2 is appraiser, and demo 3 is inspector, and I'm the owner. So what exactly I will do, I will log in as a demo 1, and then I will perform some other transactions on that. So let me just log out. So you can see here, I'm logging as a demo 1. Now I am the buyer. So buyer, what exactly we can do is we have seen that there was $1,000 bike is created. So I need to perform some action. So what I can do, I can make an offer for this. So I will take I can choose the inspector who is going to verify this transaction. and then I'm going to make offer price of suppose 800, and the transaction will be created on the blockchain network. And now whatever the transactions we are performing on this blockchain network, I want to see those transactions on some off-chain database like SQL database. So what exactly we can do is, because we have already seen that there was a resources created for the SQL Server database. So you need to come into the resources. So if you can see here, there is a SQL database. So what I can do, I can just go, this is the SQL Server name, and make sure. So what I can do, I have a query editor here. So I can just log in. And there are all the tables. So I can see all the users registered, how many users are there. So if you can see here, I have demo 1, demo 2, demo 3 users for asset transfer app. And we can also see how many transactions are there in that. So these are the transactions performed with the transaction hash and from and to, and all the details of the transactions. And now I want to see this data in Power BI report. So before going to the Power BI report, what exactly you need to verify is you need to make sure that you have enabled the firewall settings. So this is a very important step. So what you need to do is you need to come into the firewalls and virtual network and just click on the add client IP and make sure this Azure services and resources are allowed. Why? Because if it is not allowed, you will not be able to interact with your any Azure services like Logic Apps or Power BI and others. So make sure this is enabled. So I have already enabled it. So what I can do is I just need to provide database server name and open my Power BI desktop. So what I can do is just suppose I am going to create. So I'll just create a get data. So I can provide a SQL Server database, and then I need to choose SQL Server name. And I have already created a connection, so that's why it is opening. You need to just provide the password at the time of creation of Azure Workbench. So you will be, suppose you want to add a contract action, or you want to add users. So whatever the tables you want to load, so you can load, and based on that, you can plot the Power BI reports in your chart. So, okay. There was one question I may have missed, but where this blockchain multiple nodes come into this, or this is a demo assuming this is actually the demo assuming a single node as a data source, because when you provision the network on blockchain network, means blockchain Azure Workbench, so it will have a single node which is by default. So if you can see Azure blockchain as a service. So this is a single node which will be created, a quorum node, and it will be like on basic tier. So currently, but if you want to scale up, so you have an option to add the transaction node multiple, and you can add how many transaction node you want. So it's up to you how you want to scale up your network. But at the initial stage for creating the workbench, it will provision a single node. But if you want to join, suppose any other consortium like any other Ethereum network. So while creating the Azure Workbench, I have already mentioned there was a option to choose Ethereum endpoints existing network. So you need to choose, let me show you on Azure Workbench. So in advanced settings, basically you will get means option for existing. So you need to suppose if you have already existing Ethereum blockchain app hosted somewhere, so you can join that consortium also by providing the Ethereum RPC endpoint. By default, it will only host a single node. So if you see here, what I did is initially I created the blockchain Azure Workbench, then I deployed on that. And the third process was registering Azure AD tenant. So which is the most critical part in configuring the Azure Workbench. So you need to make sure that you are properly allowing all your permissions, and so then only you will be able to add your users on the blockchain network. And after that, you need to deploy blockchain app. Make sure you have enabled the firewall settings, then only other blockchain app will be able to interact. Like I want to open the SQL Server database. So if firewall settings are not allowed, so you will not be able to open. And you want to integrate with your existing Logic app. So there are some Logic app connectors. Let me show you Ethereum connectors. Southeast Asia. So in Logic app, basically by default, there are some connectors available for the Ethereum. So if you want to communicate by using Logic app to your blockchain network, so you can also perform the transaction by using those connectors. So let me just show you simple. So if you can see here, the Ethereum blockchain connector is there. So in this, there are a couple of options. So in how exactly it works is you have 4 options here. When you by using data publishing, by using smart contracts, that is by microservices, or by event publishing or report publishing. So there are a couple of options you can communicate with this connector to store the data on your blockchain network, or perform any kind of transactions you want to trigger any email notifications. So these connectors are very helpful when you are going to perform any kind of workflow on blockchain network. Yeah, so that was basically is there. So we have, I think I'm almost done with my demo part. Okay, so we have, let's come back to the slide deck again. So blockchain prototype we can build by using Azure Workbench. So it's a predefined tool available by provided by Microsoft. So you don't need to configure the whole infrastructure or the UI. It is, you can see here, the UI is already, so you can just test your smart contract. And then what are the challenges currently we have in creating the POCs? Because this was the initial challenge for us also, because when we want to just test the, means like this blockchain work app will be working for us, and we don't want to create the whole infrastructure, the team we want to set up. So just for creating the POCs, this is very good tool. And what exactly it do is it helps to integrate with your existing applications and with your all blockchain frameworks like Hyperledger, Ethereum, Coda, or so by using APIs or by using connectors, like for Hyperledger, there is no connector available. So you can communicate by consuming the APIs. Same as it is for Quorum and others. And if you can see, whenever you provision any blockchain workbench, so these are the resources will be created. Like there will be API management, service bus, off-chain DB, like SQL Server, and blockchain data manager, logic apps. So these all resources you can see here in my, whenever I created a blockchain Azure workbench. So these are the resources which is created by default. This is kind of, you can say, for single ledger kind of limitation as well, means because these sometimes you don't need all these resources. So, but for just creating a prototype, obviously this is needed, and you can integrate with your existing app. Yeah, this is a step-by-step process how we can set up the workbench. Yeah. If anyone have any questions, you can ping on IM.
Yeah, thank you very much, Asif. Guys, if you have any more questions, you can put it on the chat. Or later on, we're gonna share. We're going to share the video and the resources from the presentation, so you'll know how to reach out to Asif if you have any other questions.
Sorry for trouble in the middle. Anyhow, I will post all this demo in later on my YouTube channel, and also on will be available on my blog. So I have already written my blog for configuring the Azure Workbench. So if you are interested to create a blockchain prototype and you want to see all the blockchain data by SQL Server, and so you can follow the blog, and there will be also video available for this. And if you want to see that data, like how after performing the blockchain data, means how you can, let me just to show you. It's my available in my blog as well. Yeah. So there was a in my last sessions. What I have shown here is you can publish the logic apps, which I showed. Like there is a connector for performing the transaction on a blockchain application. So you can publish the logic apps of flow data to the SQL data by using Azure Blockchain as a Service. So this is the video available for the demo. Same as is, I will upload the demo for Azure Workbench as well. And yeah, so.
All right. Thank you, Asif.